Despite the fact that we saw a few good news, XRP not being a security, US inflation falling to 3%, launch of the first ETF in Europe, crypto markets didn't show enough strength and the price decreased for around 4% in July. Can we expect a Bitcoin to reach a new local high in August, or are we gonna have a continuation of a pullback? Stay tuned, and in this video we're gonna discuss that. Yo guys, my name is Željko and welcome to CryptoGrid. So when we take a look into the charts, we can see that the Bitcoin volatility is pretty much lower than ever and it is consistently decreasing, while the markets are ranging from pretty much 29 to 29.6k. As I said in the intro of this video, we had a few good news, but we didn't have any reaction from the market pretty much. We saw some reaction in the altcoins, but usually you want to see a reaction from the Bitcoin as well. And usually, besides looking at the charts, you also want to think of the fact that when you have a lot of bullish news and the markets doesn't react positively, that's honestly bearish. Same as if you have many bad and negative news and the markets don't fall, that's usually a bullish for the markets in the longer run. So let's look into the charts and see what are the possible scenarios. So the first thing that I want to look into is a monthly Bitcoin chart, and one thing that we can notice here is that we had a small pullback in a previous month, but still we are in an uptrend, although we are losing momentum. As you can see that the green candles are getting smaller and smaller. And one thing that is interesting to notice is we are approaching Bitcoin halving, which is supposed to occur in April 1st, 2024. Maybe I am a few days off or something like that. And if you compare the time of the previous halving, which was in May 2020, we could see that we had similar situation as we are experiencing now. Like we had a bottom, then an increase in price, and then we were pretty much stagnating until we had a huge pullback just around 60 days before the halving. And honestly, I think that in the current situation the history could repeat. There's a possibility that we get a slight continuation and then after some time that we get a pullback as we had previous time. If we take a look into the weekly chart, we can also notice that we closed just below 29.6k, we closed around 29.2k, which is usually a bearish sign, and currently what I'm looking for is if we hold a support at 28k, and if you retest the support, that's the moment that I would be taking long positions. If you're in my Telegram group, you saw that I haven't posted any trades for a while. It's because I want to take advantage of the markets when I think it's the right moment to do it, and I usually do spot buys. So I don't think that we are still at the stage before we get a pullback. Another positive scenario would be if we reclaim 29.6k or even 31.5k, and then if we retest, that would be another good sign. Or if we fall below 28k and we manage to reclaim it within a day or two. If we fall below 28k, I would be looking at the support level of 26.5k. And if we fall below that, I would be very concerned if we're gonna get to new local highs or not. If we take a look into the daily chart, one thing that is positive for me is that if we look into the stochastic RSI, we can see that it's in highly oversold zone, and usually this is the best time to buy. And another thing which is positive is we can see a falling volume, which we also experienced previous time when we had another leg up. So as you can see here, the volume is slowly decreasing, and then we had an increase in volume and a leg up. The thing that concerns me the most is this candle. When we had a news that XRP is not a security, I expected a continuation up. Instead, we had a false breakout, which is not a good sign. Another thing that is interesting to look into is S&P 500, and we can see that we are exactly now pretty much on a resistance level, and if we manage to go above it and reclaim it, that would probably be a bullish sign for crypto markets as well, and we could finally expect to maybe get to the previous local high when it comes to the total market cap. If we resisted this level at 4,580 bucks and start falling down, that could also reflect in crypto markets, unfortunately, and we could expect a continuation of a downtrend. Still, if we look into the liquidation map, we can see that there is a lot of people that are actually entering the markets with high leverage because they're impatient and they can't wait for Bitcoin to either break 29.6k or fall down below 28k. Honestly, as I said, this is a no trade zone for me, and I think that the majority of the retail would be better if they don't do anything, if they focus on other things and they just drop an eye into the markets from time to time just to see if something happens, than to consistently trade with the high leverage. And still at one moment, I think that the majority of this impatience will be washed out and this type of people, and that we're gonna have a healthy continuation upwards at one moment. Maybe we're gonna need to pull back much more, especially when it comes to altcoins, because that's another area which people are looking for. And yeah, I agree that the majority of the gains actually come from the altcoins, and the majority of people that turn 10k into 1 million, that these things come from the altcoins. But you need to be very good at when you're entering, because you don't want to buy altcoins all the way down. You see some coin at $1, you buy it, then it drops to 0.7, then you buy it again, then it drops to 0.5, then you buy it, then it drops to 0.1 and you buy it, and you have 60-70% drawback at average. And once you get that amount of drawback, then it's really hard that you even outperform somebody who was buying Bitcoin or Ethereum during that time. If you take a look into the Bitcoin dominance, one thing that is interesting to me is if you compare Bitcoin dominance that includes stablecoins and Bitcoin dominance which excludes stablecoins. And this is the reason why I'm always showing you this chart, why I'm not showing you total tree or something like that, because I think this gives you much more accurate presentation of the data. So for example, here, if you look Bitcoin dominance that excludes stablecoins, you can see that the Bitcoin is pretty much in stagnation. Yeah, we had a drop in this area, but now we are not dropping as this is actually showing. When you compare this line to this line and this line, we can see that actually altcoins are slightly decreasing, Ethereum is slightly decreasing as well, while the stable coins are increasing and Bitcoin is increasing. And this again, if you look into the previous Bitcoin halving, it was somewhere in this area. At one moment, we had a lot of people that actually transitioned from Bitcoin to alts and then again from alts to Bitcoin. And this happened during this big candle and this decrease in the markets. And that's actually the area where we were close to local low in terms of altcoin dominance, and pretty much we had the bottom of altcoin dominance close to the halving, and actually it was pretty low at the halving level as well. The only reason why it might have been more worth to buy in this area, even though the dominance is higher, is because the overall market cap was much lower during that time, and this was probably the best time to start accumulating alts massively. I also think that now we're gonna experience similar situation, and that people that started buying, it's still too early. I expect us to get either close to this or even to go maybe lower than this at one point once we get a pullback in the market. Yeah, you might catch a rally of meme coins or some old alts, but I feel that the risk is much higher in comparison to reward that you can get in comparison if you invest into the Bitcoin currently. Also, I like to combine this chart with the next one, because here we can see that the stablecoin dominance is slightly increasing recently, and we can see that the total supply of stablecoins is constantly decreasing. What this means? When you can immediately pull the conclusion that the total market cap is falling based on this. And yeah, we're probably gonna have a contraction of stable coins during the next altcoin rally, but I feel that this will occur once the US starts printing money again. Until then, I don't feel that we're gonna have a strong increase of altcoins in comparison to Bitcoin. Another indicator that I like to look into and that I think it might be one of the most underestimated indicators is predicted funding rate and open interest. And usually when you see these negative white candles which suggest that we have a negative funding rate, this means that there is a possibility that we have another leg up, and now we can see that we have a negative funding rate and we have a small increase in open interest with a slow decrease in price. And usually this means that the amount of shorts in the markets is increasing. And we had a similar scenario just before the previous leg up. Increase in open interest with decrease in price. And at one moment we had a leg up. And also we had a few of these candles showing us negative funding rate. And even this supports my theory, for which I think that are the highest odds to play out, is that we have a slight pullback and then an increase in price, because the similar thing happened here. We had an increase in open interest and then we started decreasing in open interest, and here I expect that stage to come next probably. Still, as I said, I'm waiting to see if we're gonna touch 28k area, or maybe we're gonna have some news as a catalyst to go up or down, and that's the time when I'm gonna react. Also, you will be able to see that in my Telegram group, so consider joining. You can see the link in the description. Thank you for watching this video. Stay strong and healthy. Bye.